So today my title is Say Yes to Life. Say yes to life. You know, with what's going on in the world today, it's very easy to get caught up in the drama of what's happening. And when we get caught up in the drama, we're saying no. Because we're going down into a lower frequency, a lower vibration, a lower consciousness. We're saying no. No, this isn't working. No, that's not good. No, this shouldn't happen. And we start shooting on ourselves and shooting on the world. And nothing should happen. But it's happening. It's out there. It's out there. It's not you. It's out there. So wherever you are on your journey of life, you're still here. So you're not done yet. You are still in this physical existence, so you are not done yet. So, what's next? Why am I here? Why am I here? That was a wonderful song too. Why am I here? We've chosen to incarnate into this physical vessel and to be on the planet during this particular time and the evolution of this planet. We've chosen to be here. And because we're still here, we're still on purpose. And we all have a purpose. Why am I here? Why am I here? I danced in that question for years. I've been studying this for 50 years. And I danced in that question for years. Why am I here? And I came to the realization that we're all here for the same purpose. We're all here. The same purpose. And it's to experience the joy of a physical life experience. It's to allow our divine creativity to express. And it's also to be a part of the ascension of the planet. To lift up the planet. So we're here to be the voice for love. We're here to take a stand for peace. We're here to be able to say yes to all of what's good in the world. To say yes to the possibilities that are present. So I'm going to invite you to kind of jump into this morning with me for just the next few minutes to uncover your next chapter. Because it doesn't matter where you are in life, there's another chapter of your life. That's why you're here. And as long as you're still here, you're not done. So what's the next chapter of your life? So often, there could be a chapter, an exciting chapter of your life, that you're missing because you don't expect it. You don't look for it. You don't claim it. You don't intend it. You don't say, yes, I'm ready for the next chapter. You might be heading towards retirement. You might be already retired. You might be in a job or a relationship that doesn't feel good. That you think is broken. It's not, you gotta fix it. So, what if you were to go deeper and recognize who you are? Recognize that you are this magnificent spiritual being. That you are God in expression. You are here in this physical vessel as the expression of the divine. And you might say, well, I'm ready for another chapter, but I don't know what it is. And I can't figure it out. And I've been trying to figure it out. Well, I'm glad you said that. Because this philosophy teaches us that we don't need to figure it out. That's not our job, is to figure it out. And what gets us in more trouble than anything is trying to figure everything out. We overthink it. So we get into this mental overthinking. I've got to fix this. I've got to figure it out. I've got to decide what's wrong. And instead, to recognize that you are connected to the intelligence that creates worlds. That you are one with the energy of divine intelligence. That you live, that other part of you, that higher self of you, lives in the field. You know, the field that science talks about, the field of creation, the vortex of creation. We know what the field is. Right here. This is the field. Right here. You look between your fingers. Look at that space. That's the field. And we live and breathe and move and have our being in that field every day. Every moment of every day. So when we talk about creating our own reality, what we're saying, what are we doing in the field? Not what are we doing in our human self. What are we doing in our divine self? You know, when our humanity drives the bus of our life, then we are influenced by race consciousness, by everything that's happening out there. When our divinity drives the bus of our life, then we are guided by infinite intelligence. We're guided by that part of us that is one with all that is, the ground of all being. So that's where we want to live. We want to live in that space that says, I am a powerful spiritual creative being, and I am choosing every moment of every day to say yes to everything that's beautiful in my life, and to focus on what's working, and to not spend all of my time and my energy focused on what's not working. Everything that manifests in our life is created twice. It's first created within us, and then it manifests. So our mental and emotional energy, we're energy beings. We live in a vibrational universe. So we are a stream of consciousness that is God consciousness. So our mental and emotional energy is what's creating and outpicturing in our life. So that simply means that what we're choosing, and we're always a choice. Nobody makes us think anything. Nobody. Nobody makes us think anything. We choose what we're thinking. We choose how we use our mental energy. And that mental energy, stepped on my own shoe. That mental energy creates an emotion. And that emotion is a vibration. And that vibration activates the law of attraction. So whatever goes out is going to come back. And whatever comes back to us is in alignment with that dominant emotional vibration. So if we're in fear and anger and upset, if that's where we live, that's where our dominant emotional vibration is most of the time, then what can we bring that back to us but experiences and people and opportunities that are in alignment with that fear and anger and judgment. See, it's easy to say, I'm a positive person. Yeah, I practice these spiritual principles. I know them. I get them. I'm a positive person. Look at what is outpicturing in your life. Look to see where you're feeling. What are you feeling all day long? Are you feeling connected? Are you feeling that in spite of appearances, that everything's going to be okay? Are you feeling that your life is unfolding in its right and perfect way and you don't even know what it is? Are you trusting that you're going to be guided every step along the way? Are you connecting in to that higher self of you? Are you recognizing who you really are? We incarnate into these physical vessels as spiritual beings, and then we forget. We forget who we are. And we take on our physicality, and we get involved in everything that's going on in the world. And we allow that energy to bring us down. And we forget. We just forget who we are. So all I'm saying, let's remember. Let's remember who we are. Let's know beyond a shadow of a doubt that we are powerful, magnificent spiritual beings that happen to be in a physical vessel right now. For the joy of it. For the experience of creating from this vessel. And for the opportunity to be the voice for love in the world. To be a part of the ascension process that we're all engaged in. That's why we're here. So, let's put it to the test. Let's use a few examples of how this works. Let's just say that you're in a relationship that feels broken. And you feel like it needs to be fixed. It's just not working well, for whatever reason. And you realize that the reason it's not working well is because you're focused on the past. You're focused on everything that has happened for X number of years, and you've got the story. You know the stories I'm talking about? You do know those stories, right? Okay. We've all got them. Okay. So we've got this story about this relationship. And the longer that story continues to be focused on the things that are wrong, the things that are not working in the relationship, that story gets so strong that sooner or later that story is driving the relationship. And then you say, okay, the relationship's broken, we need to fix it. So what would it be like? And instead of that, you would say, this relationship needs to be created anew. Am I willing to let go of yesterday, which doesn't exist anymore? So the past has no power over you and get what you give it. It has no power because it's history. It doesn't exist. So instead of focusing on the past, and you say, yeah, but wait a minute, I can't go there because, I cannot forgive what they did. Well, if you cannot forgive what they did, then you will be in bondage to that energy for the rest of your life. So it doesn't matter what they did. Look what you're doing to yourself. So instead, you say, how do I want this relationship to be? Am I willing? Of Course in Miracles says, would you rather be right or happy? Would you rather be happy or right? Would you rather be happy or right? And if you'd rather be right, then that's the way it'll be. But if you'd rather be happy, then you can entertain the idea, I could see this relationship differently. And then you dance in, how do I want it to feel? Now you're going to go back to that story. And you're going to go back to that which you have focused on for a long time. But if you, every time you do that, you stay awake. Awareness is the key to life. You stay awake. You say, well, wait a minute, I'm back in that story again. How do I want to feel? How do I want this relationship to feel? I want it to feel loving and kind and compassionate. I want it to feel communicative. I want it to feel vulnerable. I want it to feel real. And I want it to feel connected. And now you start living that consciousness. And you start living that mental and emotional energy. As you put that mental and emotional energy into it, now the other, it's not about changing that other person. You know that, right? There's no way you're going to change that other person. No. You give that up. And if you marry somebody for their potential, well, bless your heart. That ain't going to work either. It's more about how do I want to feel about this relationship. How do I want to be in this relationship? It only takes one person to transform a relationship. Only one. Doesn't take two people to do it. It takes one. You know why? Because when you shift your energy, you shift your consciousness, and you come from a higher place, the other person responds to that. When we're in our negative story, and we're going down that rabbit hole all the time with what's wrong, and we're both doing it, we're focusing on each other and everything that's wrong, ultimately everything that's wrong will take over. And then nothing happens that's good because you've lost it. And you've lost it. But you realize you're a magnificent, powerful, creative, spiritual being. And you can choose to do this any way you want to. It's your choice. It's your choice. Nobody does anything to you. Nobody. Nobody can make you unhappy. Nobody can make you jealous. Nobody can make you upset. You have to allow that. And that's where this teaching is so valuable. Because when we get out of our own way, we get our bloated nothingness out of the way, and we step into our divinity. We step into who we really are. Now we're open to guidance. And it's amazing how even when life happens, and things happen in life happens. People get sick, people get upset, life happens, and yet we can stay centered. Because we're centered in our own heart. We're centered in our own consciousness. So in spite of what's going on out there, we're centered. And we can feel that it is what it is, and it's all going to work out exactly the way it needs to. We don't have a clue what that is. You know, my favorite mantra for myself is that my life is unfolding in its right, perfect way, and the caveat to that is I don't have a clue what that means. I don't have a clue what that means, but I trust. And as long as I stay tapped in, and I stay in that higher frequency, and that higher love vibration, I stay more in that positive perspective on life, and don't get caught up in the dramas that are happening in the world, then I know that the universe will handle the details. And I will be guided into the right and perfect opportunities. So the next chapter of your life around relationship could be, I want to create this relationship anew. And I'm willing to do that by giving up the past and stepping into creating what I want. So let's talk about health. Let's say you have a physical challenge. And when you have a physical challenge, it takes over your life. It does. Because that's all you can think about. That's all you talk about. And you're in pain or whatever that is. It's all you can think about. So what I'm suggesting is that, again, you're a powerful, magnificent spiritual being. And you're creating your reality. So instead of, while you are doing everything you need to do to heal, while you're doing everything you know to do, to go in treatment or whatever that looks like, while you're doing that, you're creating a new consciousness of wellness. Because when we go down that physical, challenging rabbit hole, it's very difficult to come back up. But we can come back up by focusing on wellness. What does wellness look like? Well, science tells us, and biogenetics have told us, that we have 50 trillion cells in our body. And they all have intelligence. And they all work in community with each other. And even though they're dying off and being renewed all the time, but they're coming into a culture. And it's a consciousness culture that we carry in our body. So every cell is governed by what we tell them to do. Every cell in our body is governed by what we tell them to do. So what would it be like to start telling your cells that all is well? That you're open to divine healing, whatever that looks like, and not even knowing what that looks like. Because we don't know what that journey is. It's a journey of our soul. And our soul's on this journey. And so we step in and we declare that every cell in our body is responding to wholeness and wellness. In spite of the challenges that are present in your body, you're moving beyond that and declaring that every cell in your body is responding to wholeness and wellness. They're listening to you. The cells are listening to you, and you nurture yourself. And to the best of your ability, you begin to focus your mental and emotional energy your frequency, your vibration, you begin to focus it on wellness, on wholeness, on healing. And whatever pain you're in, you do whatever you can do to rise above the pain so that you truly can feel the wholeness. So you can take care of what you need to take care of, but you're developing a new consciousness, a new chapter of your own wellness. And that's huge. And you don't buy into this whole thing about aging. And when you age, your body breaks down. It only breaks down if we believe it breaks down. Okay? If you're divine spiritual beings, then your body doesn't break down unless you bought into that human perception. And so it doesn't happen. So, last example is, let's just say you're saying, hey, I don't really have any challenges, I don't have any major issues, and I would love to see what the next chapter of my life's all about, but I don't have a clue what that is. I just don't know. That is an amazing place to live. An amazing place to live. Because now you totally surrender. You know what the word surrender means? Not that old religious word surrender. Surrender means to melt into that which is bigger than I am. To melt into that which is bigger than I am. Which means to melt into that which is bigger than my human self. So I'm melting back into my divine self, my spiritual self, my holy self. I'm melting back into that. I'm surrendering because I don't know what's next for me. But I'm asking. I'm asking. I'm open to new opportunities. I'm open to new experiences. I'm open to new relationships. I'm open to new abundance. I'm open to new adventures in life. I am open, I am open, I am open. You keep declaring, I am open, I am open. Can you imagine what could happen? Can you imagine the universe has, everything is in your energy field. Everything you ever wanted, everything you ever asked for is already in your energy field. And we don't receive it because of our stinking thinking. We don't allow it in because we have a lot of fear. We don't let it in because we're so upset most of the time. And we're focused on all this stuff that's going on. And in our world today, there's a lot to focus on. There's a lot going on in our world. Okay? There's a lot. And if that's where your energy is, if you're concerned about the election, if you're concerned about the COVID virus, if you're concerned about the racism that's happening, if you're concerned about that, you are part of the problem. You know, we teach prayer in this philosophy, right? Prayer works, but it only works when we can get above the fear and into the love. That's the only way it truly does work. So either we're part of the problem or we're part of the solution. So if we're in fear about stuff and we're anxious and we're upset and we're judgmental and we're angry and we're talking about it all the time and we're listening to it all the time and we're thinking about it all the time and those tapes are rolling around and oh my God, what's going to happen to, we're going to hell in a handbasket. If that's where our consciousness is, if that's where your mental and emotional vibration are, then you're part of the collective problem. And our journey, our soul's journey, why am I here? Why am I here? To be part of the collective solution. And we can only be part of that solution when we choose to step away from the drama of what's happening out there. And we go inside and we say, all is well. I declare that all is well. I don't know what that means. I don't know how this is supposed to work itself out. That's not my job. My job is to stay open and allow my higher self, my divine self, my connection to the intelligence that creates worlds, to allow that to drive my life. And now I'm part of the collective solution. That's how prayer works. Whether you're doing it for yourself, whether you're doing it for a loved one or a friend, or whether you're doing it for the world, or doing it for the country, or doing it for the world. It doesn't matter. It matters how we choose to spend every day. So I want to take just a couple minutes to take you inside, because this is an internal journey. Everything is created twice. The first is created inside, and then it outpictures in our life. So I'm just going to ask you, just for a moment, just to close your eyes. Just take a breath. Just declare, I am an open channel of light and love. Silently declare that. I am an open channel of light and love. I am open to the right and perfect healing in my body. I am open to receive guidance for the next chapter of my life. My life is unfolding in its right and perfect way. I trust that all things are working together for good in my life right now, in this holy instant. All things are working together for good in my life. I trust. I have faith. I am one with God. I am one. I am connected. I am one stream of energy with divine intelligence. And I ask, and just take a moment in the silence to ask, what's my next step? We just stay open to receive that guidance. It comes in many different ways. For this understanding of who we are and this willingness to step up into our divine nature, our willingness to do that, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so grateful to understand and to know. But we're mostly so grateful to step there, to go there, and to trust that we're being guided every step along the way. And so it is. So it is. Namaste.